Good day, I will be explaining the four types of economic systems, including its characteristics, pros, cons, and examples. Here is the overview of our discussion today. First type of economic system is the command economy. It is where a central government makes all economic decisions. The government or a collective owns the land and the means of production. It does not rely on the laws of supply and demand that operates in a market economy. A command economy also ignores the customs that guide a traditional economy. Its characteristics are: first, the government creates a central economic plan for all sectors and regions of the country. Second, the government allocates all resources according to the central plan. Third, the central plan sets the priorities for the production of all goods and services. Fourth, the government owns the monopoly of business and industries deemed essential to the goals of the economy. Lastly, the government creates laws, regulations, and directives to implement the central plan. Its pros and cons. Under pro, it is planned economy that can mobilize economic resources quickly, powerfully, and on a massive scale. It can execute massive projects, create industrial power, and meet social goals. They are not slowed down by any lawsuits from individuals or environmental impact statements. Moreover, it can wholly transform societies to conform to the government's vision. On its con, or on the other side, because of this rapid mobilization often means that command economies may give less importance to other societal needs. Command economies often produce too much of one thing and not enough of another, and it is not good at stimulating innovation. Lastly, it is a centrally planned economy, which also have trouble in producing the right of exports at global market. For example, here in Belarus, a landlocked country in Eastern Europe is still a command economy. The government owns 80% of its businesses and 75% of its banks. In China, after World War II, Mao Zedong created a communist-ruled society with a strictly planned economy. The current leaders are moving toward a market-based system, but still create a 5-year plan to prioritize economic goals and objectives. In Cuba, Fidel Castro's 1959 revolution installed a communist political system and planned economy. The Soviet Union subsidized it until 1990. The government is slowly incorporating market reforms to spur growth. In Iran, the government controls 60% of the economy through state-owned businesses. It uses price controls and subsidies to regulate the market. This creates recession, which could end once the new nuclear trade deal sanction will expire. In Libya, during 1969, Muammar Gaddafi created a command economy reliant upon oil revenues. Most Libyans work for the government. Gaddafi reforms towards a market-based economy were halted when he was overthrown and assassinated in 2011. In North Korea, after World War II, President Kim Il-sung created the world's most centrally planned economy. It resulted in food shortages, malnutrition, and several bouts of mass starvation. Most state resources go into building up the military. In Russia, during 1917, Vladimir Lenin overthrew the Tsars and created the communist command economy. Joseph Stalin built up military might and quickly rebuilt the economy after World War II. The Soviet Gosplan has been most studied. It was also the longest running, lasting from the 1930s until the late 1980s. The state transferred ownership of most important companies to oligarchs. Second type of economic system is the traditional economy. Customs, traditions, and beliefs are rich in developing the goods and services for the area. In other words, a traditional economy is one that is built around the way a society lives, and the goods and services are determined based on the livelihood of the people. Its characteristics are: traditional economies are often based on one or a few of agriculture, hunting, fishing, and gathering. Barter and trade is often used in place of money. There is rarely a surplus produced. In other words, most of the goods and services are fully used. Often, People in a traditional economy live in families or tribes. Societies may follow herds of animals in order to hunt and sustain those in the traditional economy. Many people progress from hunters to farmers where they can place permanent structures and start a society. Its pros and cons. Under pro, each person in a traditional economy understands what he or she are supposed to do or what his or her job is. Everyone is aware of the resources and how they will be distributed among the group. Each person understands what he or she will receive when doing his or her jobs and participating in a traditional economy. There is less destruction to the environment because many of these traditional economies farm and use the land in a positive manner. Cons. Because these economies rely on hunting, fishing, gathering, and the land in the form of farming, when the weather changes, the economy becomes jeopardized. In addition, if they are not able to find animals to hunt or fish to catch, people can starve because they do not have the goods needed to survive. In Brazil, there still exists an Amazonian tribe, which practice this kind of economic system up to this day. Third type of economic system is the market economy. It is where economic decisions are made by the free market. That means production of goods and the laws of supply and demand regulate services. Producers sell their goods and services at the highest possible price that consumers are willing and able to pay. Workers also bid their services at the highest possible wages that their skills allow. Its characteristics are: private property. Most goods and services are privately owned. Freedom of choice. Owners, businesses, consumers and workers are free to produce, sell and purchase goods and services in the free market. Motive of self-interest. The market is driven by everyone trying to sell their goods or services to the highest bidder, while at the same time paying the least for the goods and services they need. Competition. The forces of competitive pressure keeps prices moderate, and ensure that goods and services are provided most efficiently. System of markets and prices. A market economy is completely dependent on an efficient market in which to sell goods and services. Limited government. The role of government is simply to ensure that the markets are open and working. Its pros and cons. Under pro, business will only produce those things that return a good profit. Goods and services are produced in the most efficient way possible. Innovation is rewarded. Producers who were innovative enough will come up an efficient way of production. The businesses and individuals who are most efficient and innovative will accumulate more capital. Cons. Market economy functions through competition. However, there are many people in this society who are at a natural competitive disadvantage, such as the elderly, the children, and the mentally or physically disabled people. In addition, it rewards more to those who are good at being competitive. Therefore, the society reflects the values of those people and organizations. In the United States of America, it is most commonly thought as the world's premier market economy. One reason for its success is the U.S. Constitution, which had many provisions that facilitated and protected the market economy's 6 characteristics. Some of it is the Article 1, Section 8, protects innovation as a property by establishing a copyright clause. Article 1, Section 9 and 10, protects free enterprise and freedom of choice by prohibiting states from taxing each other's goods and services. Amendment 4, protects private property and limits government powers by prohibiting people against unreasonable searches and seizures. Amendment 5, protects the ownership of private property, and Amendment 14 prohibits the state from taking away property without due process of law. Amendments 9 and 10, it limits the government's powers by reserving all rights not specifically outlined in Constitution automatically to the people. Lastly, the Constitution added in its preamble a goal to promote the general welfare. This goal meant the government could take a larger role than that purely prescribed by a market economy. This led to many social safety programs such as Social Security, food stamps, and Medicare. The last type of economic system is the mixed economy. A mixed economy is a combination of market, command, and traditional economies. The United States is a mixed economy because of its constitution, which protects the requirements of a market economy, including ownership of private property, limitation on government interference, and promoting innovation. However, the Constitution also encourages the government to promote the general welfare. This allows the ability to take effect a command economy where or when needed. In addition, many American traditions still guides the economic policy. Its characteristics are: a mixed economy seeks to have all the advantages of a market, command, and traditional economy with little of the disadvantages. Therefore, most mixed economies have 3 of the 6 characteristics of the market economy: private property, pricing, and individual self-interest. Also, mixed economy have a command economy in certain areas. It allows the government to have a command role in areas that needs most safeguard to people and market itself. This usually includes the military, international trade, and national transportation. Under PRO, a mixed economy can enjoy the advantages of a market economy. First, it can efficiently allocate goods and services where they are needed, by allowing prices to measure proportionately between supply and demand. Second, it also rewards the most efficient producers with the highest profit, ensuring that customers are getting the best value for their money. Third, it encourages innovation that meets customer needs more creatively, cheaply, and efficiently. Fourth, it automatically allocates capital to the most innovative and efficient producers. They, in turn, can invest the capital in more businesses like theirs. Cons: a mixed economy can also take on all the disadvantages of the other types of economies depending on which characteristics are emphasized. If it has too much free market, it can reward the competitive members of society and leave others without any government support. Central planning might do extremely well in mobilizing forces for defense, creating a government-subsidized monopoly or oligarchy system. This could also put the country into debt, slowing down economic growth in the long run. This sums up our documentary report. Thank you for your time. God bless and have a nice day.